Alright, welcome guys to another 1-0 Crazyhouse World Championship match against between the two titans of Crazyhouse, I guess you could say. The probably the most famous Crazyhouse player, JannLee, versus international master opperwezen, who is the current champion in the 3+2 section. Today we are going to comment on a match in 1+0 Crazyhouse World Championship. It will be 30 games today, and it's not about winning the match per se, it's about how many games you win. If you haven't seen any of the previous matches, there are 8 candidates who will all be playing against each other, so 210 games each, and the two players who have the most points at the end will play each other in a final match, I think in 100 of 100 games, but I don't know that for sure, but at least a lot of games in a few different sessions. And either of these two players have a good chance of becoming top 2, I would say. So a very exciting match coming up, and well, it will be a very close one, I think. As you can see here, they have played a lot of games, and well, JannLee is the slide is ahead in points, but I think it's gonna be about the form of the day today, because I've seen matches between these guys where opperwezen has taken the lead as well as the other way around, so we'll see how we do. I guess JannLee is just setting up his stream as well. I think he intends to stream this, but he probably won't be commentating as much. So maybe it would be a fun idea to watch the streams simultaneously or something like that, and see the emotions on JannLee's face as well. Okay, and I guess I hope they will be starting soon. If you watch the previous matches by opperwezen, he has taken a very convincing 2010 victory against Chicken Crossroads, and 19.5 against 10.5 against Little Plotkin, and his match against Variance Only was postponed after they played 15 games, but he was also 10-5 up against him, so opperwezen having a very good tournament so far. And JannLee hasn't played a match yet, so this will be his first one. And we're still in the starting stages of the tournament. I believe there have been like 6 or 7 matches played. I will show you the standings afterwards, and the upcoming schedule. I think I also added I've also posted a link in the chat. Let me check. here we go. If you click on this link in chat, you will see the standings. Okay. I hope they are all ready. I'm up for a good match. And in order to get some excitement going, I'm going to call that Opper will win this with 17 games against 13. So let me know what your predictions are in the chat. Who do you favor? And by what score do you think they will take it? And I'm basing my choice purely up on the last matches of opperwezen. He was just so strong, and I think he will still be in that flow. We have to wait a few minutes because Jan's computer is updating. Well, that will give me some time to switch to the standings and just show it to you. Here you have it. Opperwezen, as said, already on 49.5 game points. So it's not about this column here, it's about the game points. Plotkin already had 3 matches in, getting an average of 10.5 points a game. Chicken won against Plotkin but lost against opperwezen and still in it. Master 10 started very good with 20 against 10 there. So that's going well, we have started. Well, Blitzbullet and Still Penguin, they need to start their matches, but we'll see them soon. Alright, here we go. JannLee versus opperwezen, starting with the Scandinavian. And we'll probably see some theoretical lines here. I'm not familiar with this position, but opperwezen seems to have prepared pawn at e3, or at least, or he's just winging it, could also be possible. And usually you don't want this bishop on f1 because the king can go to f1. So already Jan has a defensive task here. Knight at g1 threatened. Queen c4 first maybe, and then knight at g1 is hard to deal with. So okay, we see queen d3 blocking queen c4 and allowing king d1. And now JannLee is trying to harass the queen, and by placing pieces around this king as well. Okay, a nice way to win the queen there and to open up the position. Maybe knight at c1. But then opperwezen has no pieces left, so Jan tries to defend here. He's getting low on time though. Probably knight at e4 is a move to consider. Yeah, there we go. It's covering all kinds of important squares, and as well it gives some attacking possibilities. So he just repeats here. And now there should be mate for JannLee, I think, with knight at c5, but he's just very low on time. So we're gonna see a flag here. Yeah. Okay. Opper taking the first game. And because it's just 30 games, even these first few games are very important. Who gets the flow going first? Who is warmed up? Okay, JannLee opting for a bishop e7 line here. It's a common choice in these e4, e5 structures to give some defense on the dark squares around the king. opperwezen activating his knight nicely on g3, and now probably pawn at f5, yes, forking bishops and opening the king. Maybe this bishop will be attacked later on. Okay, JannLee getting in on the dark squares here. A very quick queen takes h6 there. And now we see the benefit of this bishop being loosed. Queen takes g6 was with some kind of tempo. Pawn at f7 though covered nicely. Okay, and Jan has put all his pieces on the board, so opperwezen will try to consolidate here. And if he succeeds in that, he will have a very nice position. Jan sacking the queen. And if you know JannLee, that shouldn't come as a surprise to you. Okay, but he has some initiative here, or at least he's trying to get in on the dark squares. But again, this game he's 10 seconds down. And okay, opperwezen needs to think here, because pawn at h2 was a huge threat. So he sacks the queen. And now we have a real time scramble with both on very low on the clock. And when you're in these kinds of positions and you are the one checking, you usually win, as we see here. Opperwezen taking it with a few checks. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Thanks for noticing something pretentious. Yeah, it blocks the queen and the rook sometimes. And those are important pieces. Okay, JannLee here. Yeah, well, me neither. JannLee going for a quick attack on f7. Probably we'll see pawn at f7 soon. And opperwezen will try to make use of these squares later on, because there isn't much defense left for JannLee. So he's wisely keeping this rook in hand to maybe place it on g3. Yeah, there we go already. And this is doing a nice defensive job here. It's also open for harassment, though. This is nice, bishop at g5. He can't block with the diagonal piece, so he had to block with the knight. And that's very nice for opperwezen there. Now maybe knight at h3 as a checkmate, or just pawn takes and rook at g1. I thought that was very strong, rook at g1. But okay, he's going for this. Now maybe he takes here, rook at e8. This knight is doing a nice job of covering here. Rook at h2. Okay, he's going to get this knight back, but he's very low on time, so we'll probably see JannLee taking this one on the clock and on the position as well now, I think. Okay, 2-1, both on the board now. JannLee has warmed up, I would say. Okay, going for d4 quickly, and Jan picking up the gauntlets, so to say, with knight takes e4, leaving his king open, but taking material and trying to make use of the open f-file later on. I'm expecting some rook f8 in the future. And he'll probably leave this knight b. Yeah. Now d3 is an option here maybe. Okay, he goes for pawn at e3. And he has upper where he wants him down on the clock. Because you saw in this first two games that Opper was just beating him on time. Okay, threatening here now. Maybe still possible. Pawn at f2 to follow and then queen. Okay, he goes to f1. And maybe Opper is getting to safety here. If he manages to not allow any business on d3, pawn at h3. Maybe. Tough to defend here. But queen takes d3, that's a miss for JannLee there. Yes, and mate. Queen takes d3, couldn't go knight takes f3 because there was rook takes f6 with a checkmate soon. Okay, opperwezen going very aggressive here with h5 and b4, pushing the knight around and having an open h file. If JannLee castles short like he does, then he will probably try to get something going on the h file, maybe pawn at h3, maybe pawn at h4 and g3 later on. For now he's just trying to trade some pieces and make use of this diagonal. Yeah, he's even sacrificing a piece for it, winning it back with the check. He could also have gone for bishop takes c5 there. But now JannLee is threatening to take here and then knight at g5 or knight at g6 next. Or pawn at g6 and knight at f7. But he still has to watch out for any bishop takes f2 and business on the h file there. And JannLee would have liked another knight now, but could have gone for knight takes g6, take the rook with check maybe. Okay, but Opper getting low on time. JannLee is doing very well on the clock. So maybe opperwezen is overthinking his attack here. Okay, now he goes for the rook and for the queen next. And yeah, the clock situation was too bad there for opperwezen. Okay, knight c3, knight f3. Are we going to see some unusual stuff? No, just d4 and e4. And now we're back at a normal opening, I'd say. Bishop d3. This bishop is doing a nice defensive job, but could also be harassed with the pawn on g5. So maybe Opper will go takes d5. Okay, there's a pawn trade already happening. Nice rook lift here. Making use of the h4 move, being very aggressive, and it seems to be paying off. Now he's up material, and bishop takes h7, very strong, threatening mate on g6. And now he's going to harass this knight, so he can go knight e5 next, and queen takes h5 for sure. Threatening mate here, and then pawn at g7, as well as bishop at h6 and pawn at g7. And if the king moves here, knight at g4. Too many threats there. Very nice game by opperwezen. h4, rook h3. Making use of the bishop being trapped, or sort of trapped on h6 there. Okay, JannLee taking an early pawn here on d5. And he is threatening to take here, but knight takes d5. Knight takes d5 also is a bit unpleasant for black probably. So opperwezen opting for queen takes or queen h5 with the defense and the attack. But now surely bishop g4 or bishop h3, yes. Takes probably at knight at h4. Okay, at first the queen trade. But now he's sort of in. If bishop takes f7, just king d8 is safe. Because there is no knight at e6 for JannLee. And on d8 he's perfectly fine. So opperwezen taking over the initiative this game. Rook at e7 might be a safe move here. Okay, he's going creative. If he took here, then this was on, of course. Making JannLee use all his pieces, and now he is just castling and getting some safety. But this didn't work out for opperwezen like he would have wanted it, I think. JannLee defended very nicely there. Threatening rook takes e2 and knight takes e2. But he's getting low on the clock. Rook at b1. If a rook trade, rook at g8 was a mate threat. With some crazy knight moves there. Now we have a time scramble and opperwezen failing to make a move there with 2 seconds left. But it was nice how he came back from that time difference, but it was just too much. Giving away an early knight here, but JannLee doesn't want to open up the scope for this bishop. Sacrificing the queen here. And he has 3 knights for a knight and a queen, and I don't think that will be enough, but we'll see. Especially that opperwezen has still pawns in hand here. You can use them on g5, h6 for an attack maybe later on. Okay, JannLee sacrificing even more now. Yes, you can take here because if you take back, knight at h6 is checkmate in 2 or 3 moves. So opperwezen looking very strong this game. Yes, and probably see resign here. Okay, 5-3 after 8 games. With Opper taking the first 2 games, and after that they have switched. And it seems like the white pieces are doing very well this match so far. Which is to be expected in a match like this. Okay, will we see opperwezen going for a quick attack on f2 again? This game is sort of similar to one of the first games with black, which he managed to win, I think. Difference though now is that JannLee has managed to put up a better defense. And is now switching to the attack with knight at h5, probably harass this knight and then knight at f6. It's a basic plan here. Yes, he was banking on taking and then knight at f6, king d8 or king e7, queen at d8. Was made in any case there. Nicely spotted that pawn at c3 wasn't a real threat and he could just take that one. Okay, opperwezen going for this bishop b2 system again, which against Little Plotkin, if you saw that match, he scored pretty good with it. But JannLee opting to oppose with the bishop on g7, which I think it's a good way to counter, or a system with d6 e5 could also be fine. Just not allow this bishop to become very active. Okay, JannLee attacking here on g2. Opper saying, well, okay, I don't believe your attack is strong enough, and he's just taking all the pieces here. But he has to watch out for pawn at e3 and knight at g2. Okay, blocking here, so maybe pawn at e3 there was very strong, but okay. JannLee went another way. And now opperwezen is blocking with his pieces. He has to watch out for knight at g4 though, and knight at e3 maybe. He's doing better on the clock now these last 2 games. Bishop at e3, if you take, knight g2 wins the queen. So that is a nice tactic there by JannLee. Queen h3 or queen g4, yes, he's getting in. And probably JannLee will mate soon. Knight f4. Unusual mate here. Sorry about the cuffs. Okay, after 10 games, we're back on 5-all. JannLee managed to took 2 games in a row there, and we'll see if Opper will be able to bounce back next white game, or even in this black game maybe. Okay, ignoring this bishop because he wants to attack soon. Who do I want to win? Well, I think Opper will win, but yeah, and if as his fellow countryman, I would also like to see opperwezen win, but it's not like I'm cheering very hard for him. I just want to see some good Crazyhouse, and that's what I'm getting now. So bishop g5, very nice move, so I can take the queen with check. And now there's probably is a checkmate here. Queen at e8 maybe. Takes, and rook at d7. Okay, he goes king takes, but now bishop takes f7. Bishop at d5, not at e6, because now the queen can still come in. Or to e6. Rook at f7, queen d7. Yes. Well executed attack there by JannLee. And he takes the first lead. Or at least his first lead of the match. 6-5. And just a reminder, it's 30 games. So we'll have 19 more. Thank you, Chess Festival. Rook e1 would maybe threaten knight at f6 later on. So probably we'll see rook e1 in between. Because the bishop is pinned. If something on f3, then he can just take it. Because there's still the same threat. But JannLee is... of course, knows that the threat was there, so he goes bishop f6 and blocks on the e file. And now he has a very strong position. Knight at f3, probably next, or bishop at f3, forking even the king now. F blocked, then maybe he could also have taken, but taking the queen. Last few games, opperwezen is not getting strong openings. Indeed, in the first few games he managed even with black to get a very strong position, but now he's getting some. He's struggling to get a good position after 15 moves. And well, maybe it's because JannLee has found something against this b3 idea of him. So he's switching back to usual stuff. But of course Jan is very well prepared in the more standard lines with all his experience. Okay, but now this seems like a good opening for opperwezen. Knight at h3 I liked, because then you could have won the queen here, and probably the game. Knight at h3, pawn at g2, knight at f4, and then the queen was forked like this. But still, opperwezen in a commanding lead in this game. He has to work out this queen sacrifice by JannLee though. Take all these pieces, the squares are covered. So he can just run back now. The queen doing a good defensive job here. Bishop at h3, maybe. Okay, he goes, yeah. I don't like this pawn at h3, you could just take that. And there's even a checkmate probably. JannLee shouldn't use too much time here to figure it out though. Yes, he's just taking the defender here and then figures out the checkmate. He knows he's safe on g2 there, so he just needs to make quick moves here. Knight at b8, nice one. And opperwezen has to check now, has to move fast. That queen drop on h4, he probably had some mouse issue there, it took him too long. He had the advantage on the clock there. And he had a strong position out of the opening, but I think he missed knight at h3 there, with just an easy win. Well, of course it's easy if you're commenting and not playing yourself. Now he's pushing the h-pawn, and this seems like a nice position for white, with a bishop here. Pawn at f5, knight takes f7 probably in the future. Bishop h5 as well, bringing another attacker in, and then the queen follows. Maybe we'll see a queen sacrifice here. Knight takes f7, queen takes f7. Okay, he goes the other way around. And the point is that he can promote here and go knight f7 maybe to win the queen back. But it's not over yet. Maybe a rook at g8 was a move there. Okay, now he's opting for knight f7 and winning the queen back. And bishop at g6 probably. Okay, bishop at e6, so that he's also covering this square. But JannLee is doing a nice job on the defense here. But bishop takes a6, that was a nice find. Pawn at f7 was a checkmate threat. Okay. JannLee trying to take over here, but the king seems safe here. So I guess opper will take this one. This knight defends knight at e2, and there's no knight at f3 and rook at g2 stuff. Just not enough material there. Okay, and opper will mate now. So bouncing back there after 5 losses in a row even. That's important. 8-6 now, almost at the halfway point. And opperwezen needs to get something going quickly in this opening if he's sacrificing a pawn. Because white isn't really behind in development, and otherwise he's just a pawn down. And JannLee just developing, using this knight as a strong defender. Okay, now pawn at h3 may be annoying. If takes, of course, you'll take a bunch of pieces here. And now this bishop is lured away from the defense of f4, and now you have this fork here. Okay, so opperwezen using his initiative. Okay, Jan sacking the queen to win the rook here, and maybe go pawn at b7 next. Okay, he's opting to take. He opted to take d5, but he missed knight at a3 probably. Okay, now brute forcing his way in. Yeah. JannLee resigning, not waiting for the checkmate there. There probably was a knight drop on h4 and queen at f3 was made soon. Okay, a very early d4 this game. Will we see it queen sack? Okay, not yet. He's taking it a bit slower. Knight at d4 probably, yes, attacking this bishop as well as going queen at a4, bishop at b5 maybe. Yeah, JannLee, typical JannLee, sacrificing the queen. He, when he sees the opportunity, he seizes it. I believe he once called it an addiction even. When there is a queen sack in the position, he can't, he must play it. Okay, but it's working out so far. Not placing the rook yet. He's firstly harassing this queen, saying where do you want to go. Okay, and now probably a rook placement on c2 or d3. And he'll probably come in soon with these two bishops. Maybe take g2. He was going to go like this. If you took bishop c4 and if you take then there's the mate, and if you don't do that, queen at d2 or queen at d3 was very strong. Opperwezen getting very low on the clock here. And now he has his pre-move game on. But I think 8 seconds is too much. Because Opper also has to defend here. Yeah, and there we go, on the clock. So JannLee stopping the streak of Opper there. And we are at 9-7, 14 more games to go. And this actually seems like a normal chess game so far. But, well, this is not very usual. Not going knight g8, that's the idea of blocking with h5 and then h6 has two defenders. But maybe we'll see some knight takes e6 and pawn at h6. Or knight takes f7 and pawn at h6. Okay, he's going g4, so he wants to open the h file, but opperwezen is blocking it again. Okay, now the knight retreats. Maybe taking here with force on the queen was better, so that pawn at h6 would have been a real threat. King h7, I like pawn at h6 here actually, and just traitle, and then bishop at g5 forks. Okay, the sacrifice of the queen seems nice, because this square is covered, but maybe some bishop takes h5 is strong. He needs a knight though. You want take here and then g6 and knight at g5. That's an idea here in the position, but so opperwezen shouldn't hold on to his knights. Okay, still going for it, but as you can see, there is no knight on g5 here. Okay, if you take the queen now, you're getting mated. And well, JannLee surely is going to lose this on time. He did a nice job opening up the position, but I think opperwezen defended very nicely there. Okay, going for b3 again, and with an early c4. Maybe we'll see takes and pawn g5. Okay, this is unusual. Knight takes d5. Where do you want to go? Yeah, this is looking fine for JannLee actually, because this bishop has no opponent now. So he's doing well on the dark squares. He just has to be careful for any nonsense on the light squares, but I think there isn't any attack just yet. Maybe now bishop c4, just giving this and try something. Okay, probably wasn't good enough there. Okay, that's a nice move in between, not taking the rook just yet. First winning back some material, and another fork there. Opper being sharp in the tactics here in this game. Knight takes e6, and he wants a knight for f7. So JannLee has to watch out with this knight. Oh, that's a blunder. Missed by both players. Bishop takes a6. But opperwezen still in a commanding position here. Just take bishop takes a6. Still not seeing it. Okay, that's a free knight again. Opper being playing very quick here. Okay, but now he blundered the bishop here on d6. And we'll probably see JannLee flagging here. And also the position as was going towards JannLee there. Okay, 10-8. And I think Opper should have taken that one. Bishop takes a6 was a rare miss there. Okay, going again for this this system. Last game he did quite alright with it. And we the last 4 games you see the switch to the black wins, so it's not all white anymore like in the previous exchange of wins. But it's a very tense match so far. That's nice. Probably defense on e6 is the wise thing to do. Bishop at b5, defending and attacking. Not caring about this rook. Just knight b4 was threatening knight takes c2. Okay, and Opper has the material advantage here. Okay, nice fork. Knight c3 was maybe saving, but maybe he was scared for some queen sack on f1 there. Winning back the rook, maybe take on c2 later on. There we go already. Bishop can come to c5 as well. Knight d4, threatening to take here because the knight is pinned, as well as threatening to take here. So a tough position here for JannLee. Queen takes d1, okay. Pawn d2, rook at b1 was also fine. JannLee has no pieces left, just his pawn, so he can't block. Okay, strong game there by Opper. And back to e4, e5 again. Now with an early knight g5. And JannLee just giving up f7 there. And going for a b5, allowing knight f7 and knight takes h8. But now he's countering. He can take this one with check, but probably wasn't the best move. He's now threatening knight g3 and to take the rook. And take the rook, and then afterwards rook at e1 is a threat. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Taking and then pawn at e2. Rook at f1 was made. Well done by JannLee there, and he's on 11-9, and if they keep going on this way, JannLee will take this one. Okay, a slight change of opening here. Opperwezen going for an early sack there. Pawn h3. Yeah, 30 games. That's correct. So 10 more to go. Knight at h4, he probably has to take. Now bishop at h3 is the obvious checkmate threat, so he blocks. And maybe pawn d7 comes to mind later. Okay, asking to trade bishops. Knight takes d2, and now he's trying to take here and then take on h3. I would have liked to see bishop trade there and bishop at f4. Block, take, and again. Maybe. Or block on e4 first, because it was check. So maybe it wasn't a good idea after all, but now it seems like JannLee is taking over. Rook e1 maybe, just activate the pieces. Make Opper use all his blockers. Knight at h5, surely. Because knight at f6 is threatened, as well as taking here, and bishop at f6 then. And then we'll have this position. Yes, here we go. We can take the rook at knight at f6, rook at g8, rook at d8 even made. I also missed that one. Okay, JannLee taking 2 in a row here. Will he run away with it after this game? Bishop g5. This is probably the most played line in Crazyhouse, with the bishop on g5 and bishop on g4. And you really have to know your stuff here. And g5 is probably some home preparation by JannLee. Haven't seen it before. And the problem with this opening is that the computer always gives white an advantage, but you in a practical game you have to prove that, of course. And it's really about making one mistake and then the other player can take over. Okay, queen takes h8 is a mate threat now. So what to do here? There's also some check maybe just queen at g8 and sidestep, or queen at g7. Yes. The format there Zhang, we had the knockout stage with I believe 64 players, and we played matches till there were 8 players left, and those 8 players are now playing each other in a match of 30 games, so 210 games in total, and the player with the most game points at the end of the tournament will play the player with the second most game points for the title of Crazyhouse World Champion in the 1-0 section. Okay, JannLee taking 3 in a row here. Let's see if opperwezen can fight back here. Yeah, it doesn't matter if who wins the match. It wins the match. It's about getting as much game points as possible. You could get a bunch of games 16 win 16-14, but if some other player wins a few less matches, but he wins them like 20-10, he will have more points. It's an idea by Little Plotkin, I believe, and it kind of favors the stronger player maybe, because if he loses a match by a small margin, it could be, and then he still can recover by beating another player with a bigger margin. Okay, JannLee 4 in a row, very quick game there. With white, let's get back to the games. Now opperwezen trying to get active here, but it's already looking nice for JannLee here. But okay, queen at c4 and harassing the defender, winning a piece. The opperwezen taking over here, I believe. Knight g5 is a threat as well. Queen b3 is an option. Okay, and I believe opperwezen is bouncing back here. He's ahead on the clock and ahead on the position, so should have no trouble winning this one. Pawn at d5 or bishop at d5. Take here, take here. Bishop at f3 is a nice attacking / defending move. Sacrificing the queen for mate. And this bishop was covering b7 as well. That's a nice nice one. Thanks for following Magnus Facts, by the way. Appreciate the support. It's a 30 game match, Henry, so 6 more games to go. Opperwezen bouncing back with 1. So if he wants to win the match, which is of course, even if it's about game points, if you win all the matches, you still are doing very well. So he has to win 6 in a row here. But JannLee going big on the light squares here. He really wants to trade a bishop maybe for e6. Okay, he takes here and goes pawn at g6, forking here. But opperwezen seems to be doing a nice job of saving the diagonal pieces so far. Okay, now he gets the bishop. Bishop at g6 wins the queen. And look at the clock situation again. Thanks for the follow as well, Henry and Blender Blunder. Okay, opperwezen has defended here, putting a bishop. But he's getting low on the clock here. Rook takes g7, probably is mate. Takes, knight at h5. Ah, this is a nice find. Bishop here, don't take, but just move back. And now he has maybe some time scramble chances. Ah no, it's mate as well. And I guess that's fair. JannLee played a very good game there. So JannLee 15-10. And this variation again. Now going for knight takes f7 instead of bishop takes f7. Winning the queen. And now blocking the f file. Sacrificing a pawn to get his bishop out. And the idea is take here and queen at e8. I think he can take f6. Ah, f6, knight at e3 maybe. But maybe he could have run away to d2 there. Okay, but I don't know. I still like this move. And then maybe queen at g8. Because queen at g8 threatens to take here, and rook at e8 is mate then. So it doesn't help to cover the rook. You need to make some escape square. Yes, he does. But now there's bishop at d8 threatened, cutting off the king. He takes a bishop first, because then probably will be checkmate. Knight at e6 defends nicely though. knight at c5, a4, and bishop at a3. Okay, bishop at a4, a3. The other way around. Okay, and we'll see if Opper manages to get back on track here. Last 4 games. This line again, and JannLee is doing very well on this line. So maybe Opper had to go for some other opening than e4, e5. Okay, I like this b5 harassing the bishop, because this bishop on this diagonal is very annoying. Okay, he's not taking the knight because he wants to make use of this diagonal. Opperwezen trying to get rid of the pressure there. And now he knight takes e4, double check, should win. Queen takes f1 next. Okay, well done. JannLee may be a bit too focused on that g8 b3 diagonal there, neglecting his defense. Okay, this stuff again, we have seen this before, and previously he played knight at d4. Will we see something different now? I actually like knight at d4. Queen at e5, and maybe then pawn at d3, and bishop b4, and now not c3. Yes, c3 lost last game, if you remember, to the queen sacrifice, knight at c2. King h1, knight at g3 probably was made because then you have to take h takes g3, and knight takes g3, king h2, or if king g1, pawn at h2 and king h2, and then you take the queen with check. I think it was something like that. I was just responding to the question there about previous game, if you're wondering. Okay, Opperwezen doing very well this game. I think he has this. Sacrificing the queen, removing the defender, and now queen at e7 surely is made. Pawn here promotes, queen takes. Okay, you can also go this way. And he's fighting for the tie here. 3 wins in a row. Okay, and he's going for something different than e4, e5. We haven't seen much of this line yet. Probably some h5, h4 idea. And if you are playing this a bit too slow as white, this is really a problem. But I think JannLee is doing a nice job making use of this h7. I don't know if this rook g8 move is the correct one. Maybe just queen d7 and go castle. Sacking the queen, classic classic JannLee. Going for some stuff here. Knight at g7 maybe, taking here. And now this king is a bit in trouble. So therefore I'd like queen d7 better than rook g8. Yeah, he had to go bishop f8 because otherwise knight at g7 was made. But now it's still looking very bleak for Opper. Taking a pawn at f6. Next is very strong. Okay, this is possible as well. Yes, Yes, this is mate. King was trapped there. Okay, last game. JannLee on 16 points. opperwezen going for this h4 again, which I like this very much. This idea, just getting a lot of tactical possibilities with the h file there. Maybe some h6, bishop h5 later on. JannLee now doing a good defensive job with these three pieces. So opper trying to harass those. Knight at h6, nice fork, winning the bishop here. He's just waiting to take the bishop. Maybe he will take it with check like that. Ah, nice. Nice find there. A bit too loose in the defense there, JannLee. Alright, 16-14 for JannLee. A close match as expected. I thought maybe opper was going to take this one, but JannLee getting this streak of 4 and an earlier streak of 5 that were just too decisive for opperwezen. Okay, let me quickly show you the standings. So JannLee on the board with 16-14. Probably we'll see an update soon. And opperwezen still in a very good spot, of course. Almost a tie in game points against JannLee. That's fine, of course, since he has 20-10 against Chicken and 19.5 against Plotkin already. So well, that was a great match. Let me quickly check the schedule. If you type exclamation mark calendar in the chat, you can also get this one, I think. But tomorrow we have the next match of JannLee at 2 p.m. Central European Summertime. Probably I will be able to cover that one as well. So looking forward to see you then. Before that one, there's also the Elite Crazyhouse Arena with me streaming as well. So maybe I'll see you tonight. It will be 1+1 tonight. So a quick tempo and a lot of fun games. Hopefully, last week I did well. So I hope to do well against tonight. Thank you for watching, guys. And hopefully see you next time.